Buenos días.
Llanto.
Good morning. This is Monday the 16th of July 2018. It's going to be a good day because this is the day we get to Machu Picchu, and it also happens to be my 28th birthday. Woo! Woke up this morning about 3:30 in the morning, and then got up, had a breakfast, got packed, and then got down to the control gate. Probably got through the control gate about 5:40, so we've been hiking a good half an hour or so. Yeah, looking forward to seeing Machu Picchu, looking forward to the Sun Gate. Just wanted to give you an update as well about yesterday, because a few things yesterday, because I forgot to say. The mountain Salcantay you saw means wild mountain. Salca is Quechua for wild, and Ntai is obviously mountain. And then its sister mountain, which you saw as well, partly Umantai, means head of the gods mountain, or god mountain. Where we were staying, Wena, basically it means forever young. It's named after a flower that grows at the ruins that you saw in the picture. Also with the ruins, where the buildings are, there's a set of, I think it's 7 ceremonial baths. So the site was used as a ritual purpose, and also for the Inca, to make sure they're nice and fresh for when they get to Machu Picchu. Anyway, we're continuing, so I will catch up with you in a bit. Bye! Okay, here we are at the final challenge of the Inca Trail. So-called monkey steps, a set of near vertical 50 steps. So if anyone is watching this who wants to do the Inca Trail, you better really want to see Machu Picchu, because you have to get over these. Once I get up to the top, I will do a quick another quick video just showing you the angle that we've just done. Alright, catch up with you in a bit, bye! So we've just made it to the top of the monkey steps. I'll show you the angle. As you can see, absolutely steep, brutal. Alright, we're going to carry on to the Sun Gate. See you in a bit, bye. Hi, just a note about the trail. You may notice that since Fuyu Patamaka, yesterday lunch, the stones have been much more flat and regular. This is because this is original Incan construction. This is now what's known as the Royal Inca Trail, whereas day 1 and day 2 were reconstructed stones. I'll catch up with you when we get to Intiponku. See you in a bit, bye! So here we are, we've reached Intiponku, the Sun Gate, and I think it'd be a nice idea if we see Machu Picchu together. Hola! Hola amigo! Let's have a look. Here we go. Let's have a look together. And there it is. Machu Picchu. You've got to be careful though. You've got to say Machu Picchu, as in Pikachu. Otherwise, you're saying it wrong. And if you say Machu Picchu, you're actually saying old penis. Machu Picchu means old mountain. You've got Machu Picchu mountain over here, and Huayna Picchu there. Huayna Picchu means young mountain. Machu Picchu means old mountain. Don't say Machu Picchu, because otherwise you say something very rude. Alright, we're going to break here for a little bit, catch our breath, and then we're going to head down. See you in a bit, bye! Just come across another small Incan guardhouse type thing. I did a bit of research on this stone here. This was one of the sacrificial altars where they would do sacrifices to the gods. And as you can see, there's some more people over here. Right, catch up with you in a bit. Bye. Well, we made it to Machu Picchu. Everyone made it safe and sound. Woo! And if we look, if we zoom in way up there,
sorry, you heard that.
This gap.
Yeah, I did.
There you can see the sun gate in Tipunku, and that's where we've just come from. Okay, we're going to probably take a group photo in a sec, and then we're going to head down for the guided tour. Alright, catch you up in a bit. Bye! So here is a section of Machu Picchu which they have left untouched. This was exactly how it was when Hiram Bingham found it back in 1912. As you can see, lots of rubble, few standing structures. This is how it was when it was first discovered.
He loves those, look at it.
There is our fearless guide.
Yeah, alright, I need this one. 9%.
Okay, dear friends. How's it going?
Awesome.
Awesome.
Inspiring.
Amazing, dear friends. Now we'll start with history lessons. Yeah. First of all, I want to say congrats to all of you friends. Yeah, because we made it in one piece to Machu Picchu. This is the place that we were dreaming to arrive. Okay, once again, since the bottom of my heart, I say thanks for all your cooperation. Yeah, we made it.
Thank you.
Okay. So now we'll be back again to the history lesson and stuff to finish this part of our tour into this place. We'll spend some few hours and then we'll be leaving this place. We'll be saying goodbye. After taking some a lot of pictures here. Okay. Well, so we've been talking so much about the Incas and stuff, let's say on the trail, on the Inca Trail. So probably some of you understood, let's say, the way how the reason why the Incas were hiking the Inca Trail. What was the purpose for them? First of all, another based on it. I mean, I'm not the person who knows everything about the Incas.
Okay, here we are in Machu Picchu, guys. The guide was just saying that when Hiram Bingham, quote-unquote, discovered Machu Picchu, he came from the train tracks in the riverbed way down there, and he would have entered the actual citadel the exact same way we did from the entrance. I say quote-unquote discovered because when he got up here, he found a couple of families already farming, so the terraces were already being used anyway. So it's like, technically Machu Picchu was never really lost as such, but he quote-unquote discovered it. Alright, catch up with you in the next place. See you in a bit. Bye.
Here we have the Sun Temple or Torion of Machu Picchu Citadel. It's the most important structure in the whole of the city, and underneath you have the Royal Mausoleum with its finely cut niches, a possible resting place of Emperor Pachacutec. Of course, Emperor Pachacutec being the Inca emperor who started building Machu Picchu in the late 1440s. Okay, we'll see what else comes along our way. So catch up with you in a bit. Bye.
Saying that in the Royal Mausoleum, it's called that because when Hiram Bingham arrived here, he found evidence of like mantles and cloths which were used to wrap around the mummies and the bodies of the Incan leaders. So that's why they call it the Royal Mausoleum, because they found that. It's also known as the Temple of Pachacutec because, not Pachacutec, Temple of Pachamama, because they also found evidences of seashells and flowers, items that were only used for ritual purposes for the worshipping the Mother Earth. And then thinking about the Sun Temple, you see the window here, that is perfectly aligned with the mountain with the little V-shape just in the centre, just here, that little bit in the centre. And basically what happens is on the winter solstice, on the June 21st, the sun rises up behind that mountain and the sunbeam goes through that window and onto a central rock inside the temple, illuminating it, and that only happens on that one day. And then the other window, which you can see here, is for the summer solstice, and that is perfectly aligned with the sun gate over here, and the same thing happens, and it's only on those 2 days that happens. That's why it's known as the Sun Temple. Right, catch up with you in a bit. Bye.
Here we're looking at a niche underneath the Sun Temple or Torion. It's a possible location for the tomb of Pachacutec, but the experts and historians don't really know, but obviously Pachacutec, the person who made the site, possible. Here in the doorway, you can see the stone with the hole in the middle. That was used to tie the door to the structure. One interesting phenomena that is to do with the Inca is that if you look at the door, as you go through, it appears to narrow on you. And then when you look back again, it seems to look narrow. It was a particular double phenomena that the Inca were well known for. If you have a look on the right hand side now, you can see a good example of the smooth wall that the Inca were very known for.
Doesn't have any motor on between, so that means they are feed rock and rock. There is a type of system which is called tandem group, how the Incas played into the rock. Yeah. So we have one water canal here also. The water canal runs arriving one of the water fountains. Next to it we have one huge water fountain that's called the water temple. Yeah. The place where the Incas were doing rituals. After the rituals they were using the water to clean up their souls. We have into this place at least 14 water fountains. So that means all of them are with the religious purposes. The friends, makes sense. Twice a year. In the winter and in the summer seasons. Okay? Yeah.
So one method that the Incans used to keep it stable and to keep it surviving for 500 years, as you can see, they've got small block, big block, small block, big block, and the idea was that at least on some of these walls, the small block would be a block like this, and then it would have a point sticking up, and then the small block, the bigger blocks would have like a hole in the middle, and it would fit in and slot together a bit like a jigsaw, and then that provided stability. And then he was saying about the water channels. There's water channels that flow down, down and down. There's about 14 of them. You can just see one here, and these were used for ritual purposes. There's the water temple at the bottom, which was used for worshipping the water. And it's quite possible that they also used it for like bathing, but the Incan emperor obviously used the top one for the cleaner water, and then the common people for were lower down. I'll catch up with you in a bit. Bye. Guides were saying that Machu Picchu is actually split up into 3 parts. Where we started, near the entrance, was the farming agricultural centre. We've just had a quick walk through the spiritual centre, and now here we are looking at the industrial sector. Really interesting temples and buildings. I'll catch up with you in a bit. Bye. Oh, just before I go, actually, this is the Central Sacred Plaza. So this is the main centre of Machu Picchu. Alright, catch up with you in a bit. We'll look at the Central Sacred Plaza, just flying around. Lots of lovely greenery.
This is the quarry. Right in front of us we'll see the quarry.
This is the quarry.
The rocks that apparently all of these places were full of rocks. Kind of similar than that place. Yeah, so the Incas found those type of huge rocks, and they started using the same rocks to build these nice cultures or these nice buildings.
Xavier was telling us this is the botanical garden of Machu Picchu. Lots of pretty flowers and plants, and in amongst them, if you have a quick look when I zoom in near, this is the coca plant. This is the plant where we get the coca tea from, that we drink for helping with altitude sickness. Let's move on.
Here we are in the Central Sacred Plaza. Here you have the main temple, and over this side,
They were standing up.
you can't really see right now, but over this side you have the Temple of the 3 windows. There's 3 windows, 1, 2 and 3, right here. This was the main place where the Inca did their ritual. You will notice as well with the main temple here, on the right side you can see that it started to collapse. This is because Machu Picchu itself, the site is actually sitting on 4 tectonic plates, and as a result it gets earthquakes quite quickly, and when the last major earthquake happened, they just decided not to rebuild it. But this is where the Inca did their main rituals. Very interesting. Here we are again looking at the Temple of the 3 Windows. It was mainly used as an astronomical place, and they have this rock here, which, if you saw the symbol earlier for the Incan cross, this is the top half, so you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then basically the idea would be in the setting sun the shadow would be coming out onto the ground here, and it would create the other half of the Incan cross. So it's a very astronomical place. Here's a nice shot towards the guardhouse just here, which is where we took the iconic picture earlier. And then this up here is Machu Picchu mountain. And as you can see by the alignments, the main temple is pointing towards the mountain. So it was another important worshipping place. We have a diamond-shaped rock here which represents the Southern Cross, which was the most important constellation for the Inca, and this way actually points directly south, behind us north, east and west, and apparently if you follow this, follow the point straight up and over, that actually points towards the Coricancha and Cusco, which was the Incan capital. So it's all aligned. So over this way, over the valley, just at the top of this curve, as I'm zooming in, there's an Incan site just there called Yactapata, from where you can actually see across to Machu Picchu and Huayna Picchu. And for the just for the vlog purposes, here is a photo. Okay, so let's move on.
So here we have the second most important structure in the whole of Machu Picchu, the Intihuatana, or also known as the Hitching Post of the Sun. And if I zoom in here, if you look to the top left corner, you can see some damage to the stone. This was because in the 1990s, someone was recording a beer commercial and then mistakenly allowed a crane to fall on top of it, chipping off some of the rock, which I thought was very careless of them. One other thing with the Intihuatana, the Hitching Post of the Sun, is if you look at the square, the corners also point to the 4 cardinal points as well. And one other thing with Machu Picchu is if you look at where Machu Picchu is located, to the north you have Huayna Picchu, to the south you have Machu Picchu Mountain, and then behind that you have Salcantay, and then to the east and west you also have Sacred Mountains. As I said, I've already mentioned the north and the south. To the east, you will have Futakuzi, the round domed mountain just behind the people that you can see in the foreground in the centre of the screen. And then to the west, you also have other sacred mountains. So Machu Picchu is ideally situated to be built in between 4 cardinal points and 4 sacred mountains for each of those cardinal points. Right, see you in a bit. Bye.
You would never put
That was just a sacrifice.
Javier was just saying that this is on when you're climbing up Huayna Picchu. Underneath there is another trail that goes down the mountain, and at the bottom of the mountain there is a cave system with nicely cut square niches called the Temple of the Moon. And for those that want to see it, here's a photo. Okay, let's move on. Here is the sacred rock, and it was designed to imitate the mountain behind it, which you can see just on the right here. As you can see, it sort of imitates it. And here are some traditional Incan huts. So this is what all the buildings in the previous sites that didn't have a roof, that's what they would have looked like with a roof. Alright, let's move on. So here is the sacred rock again, and this is the control point for those that want to go and climb all the way up there at the top of Huayna Picchu. And one thing that's interesting, as you have already seen, is that Machu Picchu is in between 2 mountains. You can hike up both of them. Obviously Huayna Picchu is the most popular one, and for those that want to see, here is a view of Machu Picchu from the top of Huayna Picchu. Okay, and then for those that want to see, here is a view of Machu Picchu from the top of Machu Picchu mountain. Okay, let's move on. There's a nice shot of the mountain called Futakuzi, and right here we have some food storage houses down here. As you can see, there is a ledge here just inside, as you can see going along. This allowed it to allowed the Inca to add a second story if needs be. And here we are in the urban sector, and Javier, the guide, was just saying this was where the royal Inca leaders' kids, the royal sons, would go to school. This was like the university of the Incas, this section. But it was reserved only for the for Incan royalty. And you see these niches, they may well have put offerings and gifts to the gods in those niches. Right, let's continue. This is a nice shot. You can see the stone pegs coming out of the wall. This was where they would attach the roof to, as you saw in the shot earlier, where you could see the rope tied around it and then the roof. And again here, they're all these would all have had roofs on. Right, we're going this way. Let's see what we can see around the corner. Here is the single tree in the middle of Machu Picchu. Xavier was saying that when Hiram Bingham came here in 1911, 1912. Underneath the tree he found something like 180 skeletons, of which 80% was female, so that he thought that these were the skeletons and the remains of these 7 sacred sisters of the sun, which were some of the most beautiful Peruvian women sent to entertain the men. It is now found in a recent study though that it's more like 50-50 actually, when they've done modern forensic analysis. Right, catch up with you in a bit, bye! See the Temple of the Condor, and the condor was one of the sacred animals to the Incans because in the night sky they had constellations for the serpent, the puma and the condor. And the idea with this temple, here is the head area, and they would have had a pool of water just here reflecting the night sky. These two here and here are the wings, and you can see niches above because in Incan mythology they believed that the condor flew the Incans up to the heaven, so they built these niches to put the mummies in so that this condor right here was flying them up to the heaven. I'll catch up with you in a bit. Bye! Think about the Temple of the Condor and the water reflecting the light. Javier was telling us earlier that one of the other reasons why the Urubamba River is called Sacred River is because the Incans believed that the river reflected the Milky Way. The Milky Way obviously in the sky, and they thought that the Urubamba River was the on Earth representation of the Milky Way. It just looks like we're just heading towards the exit, but I'll try and get a few more photos before we leave. Right, catch up with you in a bit. Bye. Here we have possibly another Royal Incan's tomb. You can see all the coca leaves on there, the ground. Possible burial place of an Incan leader. We're not quite sure yet. Right, onwards and upwards. Okay, here we are. We're just on the bus going down to Aguas Calientes. Here's Will, one of the guides. We're just going to head down to Machu Picchu Pueblo, Machu Picchu town, Aguas Calientes. It's going to take about 25 minutes. Plan for the rest of the day. We'll find out what time the train back towards Cusco is, and then I'll probably meet up with a group in one of the local restaurants. We'll probably have something to eat for lunch, and then spend a bit of time going around the market and having a look at all the souvenirs. I may buy something, may not, it depends on what I see. And then yeah, when it's time, we'll get on the train back to Ollantaytambo, where we'll be picked up by a minibus. We'll drive to the hotel in Ollantaytambo, pick up our stuff that we left there before the trail, and then back to straight on back to Cusco. Right, catch up with you in a bit when we get to Aguas Calientes. Bye! So here we are going down the zigzag road that you saw earlier from the Sun Gate. This road is named after the person who quote-unquote discovered it. This is why the road is called the Hiram Bingham Highway. It just goes from Aguas Calientes up to Machu Picchu. Buses run pretty regularly every half hour or so. And as you can see, it's just zigzagging along down the mountain. I'll catch up with you in a bit. Bye!
that well.
Okay, here we are at Aguas Calientes station. Just had a nice dinner in the restaurant of I had lomo saltado, which is like beef with vegetables and rice. It was lovely. Got myself the I Survived the Inca Trail t-shirt. So the next bit of shopping I need to do is at Cusco. I just need to get a necklace for myself and a bit of Andean pipe music CD. This is probably our train. Like I say, we're just waiting to board to the nice journey back to Ollantaytambo. Okay guys, we're now on the train back from Aguas Calientes to Ollantaytambo, where we'll get picked up by the minivan and then we'll drive back to Cusco. It's going to be a nice little train journey through the scenic valley, as you can see on the skylight. One thing I forgot to mention actually at Machu Picchu is even though the name Machu Picchu means old mountain, that probably wasn't the original name. Most of what we know from the Incas of the Incas was from the Spanish conquistadors and what they wrote down. Recent studies have found that the original name for Machu Picchu was probably Pata Yacta. So in a weird way, the very first site we saw on the Inca Trail was called Pata Yacta, and the very last one was possibly originally called Pata Yacta. So it's nice to have come full circle. Anyway, we're just enjoying the train ride, and I will catch up with you once we get back to Ollantaytambo. Bye! There's the Inca Trail that we passed 4 days ago. This is where we were hiking 4 days ago. There's the viewpoints, and here once more is the bridge, the control point to start, KM82 Pisacucho, the last point, the starting point on the world famous Inca Trail. That's what we did 4 days ago. Okay, welcome back guys. It's about 4:45 in the afternoon. We've just got off the train at Ollantaytambo and got back on the minibus. We're going to go for a couple of minutes back to the hotel, Prisma Hotel, to pick up the stuff that we left here before the trek, and then we've got about an hour 45, 2 hour back to Cusco. So we should be getting to Cusco about 7 o'clock or so. And then after that, yeah, it's just time to start the celebratory drinks and just enjoy myself. And then hit the sack, and then tomorrow we've got another full day. Okay, catch you up in a bit. Bye.
Okay, there's no more footage for today, so I'm going to leave you with a couple of pictures. Firstly, of the birthday cake I got in Aguas Calientes. This is a picture of me with William, one of the guides. And then later on, when we got to Cusco, we went to this restaurant, the photos of which you will see in second, or the one photo you will see in second. And then the next couple of photos are of the walk back to the hotel. So I will sign off for the 16th of July 2018, and I will see you tomorrow on the 17th of July 2018. See you later. Bye bye.